Jesus does whatever he wants. I want to give you 2 verses to remember when you inevitably ask God for something and you don't receive it. Okay? First one is this, Isaiah 55, 8 and 9. We need to know this verse. This is God speaking. He says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and your ways are not my ways. This is the Lord's declaration. For as heaven is higher than earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." He's saying my ways and my thoughts are higher than yours. Like there's going to be things about God we will not figure out. And I want to tell you this, as someone who spent a considerable amount of time in being theologically trained, there's not enough Greek words, there's not enough doctrine books, there's not enough Bible that you can read to give you an answer to every single thing about God or why he doesn't or do things. There's always going to be a gap between what we can know and what God does. Some things our Bible reveals very clearly. Some things about God, there's mysterious. But this is what I want you to know. God always calls us to faith. That's what fills the gap between what we think we can know and ultimately what we are called to do. God is just greater. His thoughts are higher, ways are higher. We're not always going to understand them. And if you really think about that critically, that's a good thing. If you could completely figure out God and understand and explain every single thing he did, how is his ways and thoughts higher than ours? It's actually a good thing, but it's sometimes, if our heart's not in the right place, it can't be comforting, or it isn't comforting, but it should be. Isaiah 55, 8 and 9. Here's one for the believers, Romans 8, 28. "We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose." Now you got to understand that good to God is not always good to us. So whenever we think about what's good, we think about what we want, honestly, most of the time. But for God, it's what makes us more like Jesus. And what he's saying is, whatever God allows in your life, good, bad, or indifferent, if you are a believer, this is for believers, he's working it out so that we become more like Jesus.